up the stress level. No, don't do it. Get a grip. This stupid video I just showed you. I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. You donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Welcome in. Welcome back, folks. I just like the energy. I just like that it's a building energy. We're at the light at the end of the tunnel, folks. Couple more weeks of this, and we're going to be in camp talking about Notre Dame football. The boys will be back. Man, it feels good. So I like the building energy. And happy Wednesday to you. Hope my headphones are bugging me already. The phone line wouldn't load up. It wouldn't show on the system. Now my headphones were off to a rocky start, folks. Happy Wednesday to you. I am getting energy because I feel the fan base gaining energy. The recruiting stuff and the news going on, it isn't all good, but it's getting the collective energy up here, building to camp. Couple more weeks, we're going to be in it, and we're back, baby. We're back. Thanks for being here. Really do appreciate it. And here's the deal. I was sitting there trying to think of a couple article ideas, things I wanted to write about. You know, I'm sitting there late at night. What do I want to write about? And I just started thinking about all the different juicy Notre Dame storylines that are going to lead us into this season. And there's always huge storylines with Notre Dame. This is overload. It is narrative overload with some big, huge question marks and things that are just, there's no answer to. Wait and see. There's a bunch of them that are big, and it's going to make for the beginning of the year is going to be wild. The beginning of this year is going to be absolutely wild. And Nikki Dean, happy birthday. 54 today, and this is the best I've felt about ND in a long time. Happy birthday, Nikki Dean. You are, man, you're loyal to my show, and I really appreciate you and the wife. You guys are special people. I really appreciate it. Nikki Dean loves to be heard and seen, baby. That's for sure. That's for sure. Son of a buck, a handicap ramp. Hopefully we can limit the... It's only funny because it's sad. It's only funny because it's sad. The handicap ramp into camp. Here comes the offensive line, and they all wheel down like a stage down the ramp in their scooters and wheelchairs. Just the image of it. Here's the vaunted Notre Dame offensive line, and they wheel down in a ramp, and some of them have power scooters, some of them have the leg scooter, some of them have the wheelchair with the joystick. Here comes Notre Dame down the ramp they go. Oh, man. Oh. God, that's funny. In the worst way possible, that is totally funny. Yeah, the stair monster. That's the other thing. It's like, we covered this on the Monday Night Raw, Son of a Buck. Nice name, by the way. I also have a video coming out of the Son of a Buck, too. Stay tuned for that. I was going to wait till we get a little closer to, put it in reverse. Terry's the captain of this team. Terry's the captain of this team. Back it up, Terry. Put it in reverse. What is he doing? Come on, Terry. I'm just saying, we're off to a rousing start today, man. We're off to a rousing start today. Here come the boys down the ramp. I'm only laughing because I don't want to cry. You know what I mean? So anyways, there's a bunch. D-Lo G, you talking to me? What's going on? There is, I want to go over some of these narratives, and I just want to line up everything practically and perceptually that is on the line for Notre Dame this year. And there is a lot. There's a lot. And these are not like common, just everyday narratives, this and that. These are needle moving narratives that are going to determine where all this goes in 25. It's awesome. So I want to go over some of these and get your thoughts on them. And I want to see what you think. So welcome in, welcome back. How's the BK Oleosis? It's getting better. It's getting better. Every day that guy's not a part of my life, it's getting better. My hairline's coming back in. I'm starting to fill out. I'm not a Skeletor anymore. It's good. The more separation we have, the better for me in my mental and physical health. I'm just being totally honest, man. That guy aged me 10 years more than I'm aged in real life. There's no doubt about it. So the phone lines are up. 312-900-8815. Welcome in to the longest running and the largest Notre Dame call-in show on these interwebs. I'm very proud of that, you guys. You deserve a voice. Man, this fan base. Sometimes we suck. Sometimes we're awesome. But you need a voice. And you deserve a voice, and you need to be heard, man. You guys are loyal, whether it's good or bad. Yeah, set your egos free. That's what I'm going to do. That's definitely what I'm going to do. I'm going to let somebody else rehab an eagle from near death, and then right at the end, I'm going to step in there for the photo op and watch it fly away. There's nothing that guy does that's not disingenuous. It's hilarious. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do hit subscribe. Brian says, I'm still stunned by the Jags injury and the stupidity of it. It almost makes Monday night this came up. I'm sitting there worrying about like four-wheelers and dirt bikes and skydiving and rock climbing and all jet skiing and all this stuff you could do that a guy could get hurt or whatever. And it made me laugh to think, yeah, all of that I'm worried about, these risky activities. Should it be written in an NIL deal? You can't do all this crap, whatever. And then I remember the year that Tyler Buckner had a fight with the stairs and he did not win it. Like, it's so I understand if somebody's going to say, yeah, you got to ban all those people. You can't do all these dangerous activities. And then it's just like Tyler Buckner had a fight with the stairs before the blue and gold game. And the number one thing I said before I headed to South Bend for that blue and gold game was, I want to see Tyler Buckner throw the ball around. I know he's nifty and I know he can run, but the number one item on my list is I'd like to see this guy throw it around before we go to Iowa State to open the year. And then I ended up seeing Tyler Buckner in a tailgate tent with a soft boot on his foot. And it was just the saddest thing ever. I took a picture with him. We were both sad. And I'm like, I have my stupid Miller Lite and I'm looking down at that boot. The boot, it was just really unfortunate. It's just really unfortunate, man. Rumor has it, CJ Carr went skydiving this past weekend. Yeah, I've done it once. I'm never doing it again. I got talked into it once. I didn't die. And I just don't like the idea of testing human fate and biology that much. You get what I'm saying? When you go skydiving, you're really testing like nature and what humans are supposed to be able to do. And I just feel like I did it once and I survived. I have no interest in testing like the theory of gravity again. I just feel like you're asking for something bad to happen. Yes, I went skydiving. I didn't want to do it. I got talked into it. I worked at a country club. And the golf pro, in his spare time, got his pilot's license, and he loved all the aviation crap. And he says, all of the employees in the pro shop, I'm paying, and we're going to go skydiving on me or whatever. And I said, now, why don't I watch the clubhouse while you guys go? I don't have any interest in this. Oh, come on. You got to go. It'll be fun. It's a team building thing. Oh, yeah, the whole team dies. Who the hell's going to check the golfers in? That's what they said. Oh, it's a team building thing. Oh, yeah, so we could all splatter on the sidewalk. Son of a buck, I didn't want to go. I was nervous about it all summer. 2 different dates we were supposed to jump, and it was on the Illinois, Wisconsin border, way on the north part of Illinois, right on the lake and all this stuff. And then I was all nervous about it. And then it got canceled because of window weather 2 times. I had to worry about this stupid thing all summer. Peer pressure. No, we're closing the clubhouse. We're all we're all jumping out of a plane for no reason. I don't chase adrenaline in that way to that extent, but I did. And you got to be, oh yeah, the life insurance won't pay out to your family. You have to sit through an hour-long video in the hangar, the garage or whatever, and you watch a video about all the things you got to do and not do to do this skydiving. Bro, they hand you a piece of paper an inch thick, and you have to sign your life on everything. It's unbelievable. I mean, they're saying if we don't find your body, no money. If you get a broken arm, no money. If you split your wig in half and you come down like the Headless Horseman, no money. Nothing. Like, you got to acknowledge you're jumping out of a perfectly functioning aircraft for alleged fun and excitement. And if anything dumb happens, you ain't getting $1. You ain't getting nothing. And you got to sign off to it, man. I did it once. I survived. I don't want to do it again. I don't chase adrenaline in that way. My idea of adrenaline is watching Notre Dame kick the shit out of somebody on a Saturday. That's enough adrenaline for Johnny, okay? I will do this. To prove it, I've got a picture. When you jump out of this plane, unless you do it like 20 times, you got to be strapped to someone else that like does it every day. One of these adrenaline junkies. They attach you to them to make sure you don't fly into the Sears Tower or into the lake or something stupid, right? They have another adrenaline junkie jump out of the plane with the camera right before you jump, and then they get ahead of you and they take the pictures of you, and then you get a little thing saying you didn't die or whatever. I got a picture of that. I think I was 18, huge curly fro. I'm going to prove to you guys I had hair. I'll post the picture in the posts here. If I can find it on my phone to prove to you I did it. And look at my hair. You ain't going to believe it. I look like Ronald McDonald for real, bro. Curly red hair. Half the girls liked it. Half of them hated it. But I tried it out for a year in college. I ain't going to lie. Let's get back on track. As always, you can find the program on YouTube. Do it. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Appreciate it very much. Give the video a thumbs up. That helps Yanni out as well. Notifications on that way you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar, Always Irish, or at Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only. Anywhere you want it, you can get it. If you don't want to start your day looking at my stupid face, God bless you, man. I don't want to do it either. But when you look at yourself at a reflection for your job, you just get used to it. 312-900-8815. Dial it up. Tell Johnny Boy all you've heard and seen. Notre Dame on SI. Read all about it. I got articles. I think they were posted 6 a.m. today, 8 a.m. today. Oh, I'm cooking on the articles. The ideas are creeping into my messed up brain. If you're on hold, you're going to be on the air. I want to hear what you have to say. Patreon.com/Always Irish. I got 2 Notre Damers with me, man. Mike Goolsby, the captain, the defensive expert. Jared Clark, Cardinal Mooney, state champion head coach in Florida. Notre Damer with Goolsby. Love it. ND Recruiting 01. Jack Sullivan with the inside scoop, baby, on all the recruiting. We got a dream team going on over there. Trying to make it where it's one-stop shop for everything Notre Dame. The opinion piece, the X's and O's piece, the player experience, recruiting, all of it. We want to make it so you get everything you need there. Thanks to everybody who's there. Link in the description. Check it out. Check it out. All right, let's do just a couple of these chats to get caught up, and then we will go to the calls. We'll see what you guys think. I would like to know, maybe I'll ask the callers this. What are the 2 to 3 maybe biggest narratives that are on your mind? Things on your checklist here, what you want to see or what you're monitoring when this season gets started. Off the top of my head, I came up with 9 or 10 of them, and some of them are juicier than others. Some of them are this year specific to Notre Dame, and others are more. You could probably apply them overall year to year. But there's a lot of these that are very Notre Dame specific for this year, this group of talent, these guys. I would like to know what your top couple narratives are. Could be overall with the team or surrounding a specific position or a player, whatever you're thinking. Whatever you're thinking. So I don't know. We'll see. It's good to see everybody here. It really is. Chief, you're here. I'm glad you made it through the 4th of July. Obviously, the townspeople didn't run you out of town. You didn't get eaten by Jaws Jr. or anything like that. So that's good to see. That's good to see. Good morning, Always Irish Nation. I see Josh Pate putting 8-minute videos out on coaches. His video about Freeman's very positive. However, so is his Franklin video. I see a lot of frustration with that. Mike Gouldsby also jumped in this morning. It's good to have the captain on board. Literally, it's a different job. Callers, I'm coming to you. It's a different job when you're one of these national guys. When you're in the Notre Dame niche, you're digging 8 layers deep on every Notre Dame thing that happens, good or bad. You're digging 8 layers deep because the people that are diehards for Notre Dame in our specific media niche, they know all those details. They want you to dig 8 layers deep. That's their world. It's a Notre Dame world, and everything else is just kind of tangentially happening around that ecosystem, but it's Notre Dame. When you get to the JD Pickle and Josh Pate, it's national, and they want to grow their channel by covering the whole country. You can't go 8 layers deep when you're worried about every single team in the country or whatever. I think you just get basic bullet points on a team or a situation with the team or whatever, and you do it, and it's very surface level. Now, sometimes it is helpful to get the perspective of people outside the Notre Dame niche. I'm so Notre Dame-y every single day. Sometimes it's helpful to pull back and have somebody that's more well-rounded looking at the whole country to get their idea of where Notre Dame stacks up, because I'm in the Notre Dame world all the time. They have a better comparison of Notre Dame to all these other teams they have a little bit of info on or whatever. But it's a different delivery. It's a different product because it has to be. Those guys cannot go 8 layers deep on every single team and cover the whole country. But the benefit for them is they have big, large channels because they're not just going for diehard Notre Dame people. They're shooting all across the board, all these conferences. That lane of content is just totally different than what I do. It's surface level stuff, trying to hit the different conferences, bring in the views and make it surface level, but more spread out, well-rounded. It's just a totally different way to do content. Totally different way. The commander, the coach showed us last year he could be trusted. Although last time I said I trusted Freeman, he screwed that up and lost to Northern. Well, what about, you got to give him credit for everything that happened after Northern. After. I have a hard truth to tell you. Pay to blow sunshine and rainbows up every fan base. He won't say anything negative about anybody so he doesn't lose his access to the programs. Yeah, there's something to that. Uh-oh. WP. You down with WPP? Yeah, you know me. Miami and ND. It's West Palm and me, baby. Look at that. Put a beat to it. Put a beat. Move your feet. The media trip to New York should be canceled. I got news. The Canes are not taking any sightseeing tours. They're training. Never change, WPP. I love your dedication to this cause, and I'm never going to question it. It's never going to frustrate me. You've been obsessed with Miami ever since the day the season ended, and I love you for it. I don't want you to ever change. Tex ND, good morning, Johnny, the best crew to ever exist. Hope we're doing well midweek. I just, yeah, Tex. Let me quote the now viral golf fight. Bang, bang, bang. Here's the deal, man. That guy totally deserved what he got. Number one is the number one offense you could commit on the golf course, other than vandalizing the property, is slow play. It has ruined the sport of golf. It's ruined professional golf. Slow play is my living nightmare. I cannot handle slow play, waiting on every shot. I cannot handle it. The sport of golf was never made to be like that. It ruins my day. No, slow golf is the worst thing in the world to me. So that guy being slow is his number one problem. And then he was running his mouth, wanting to fight. They pan over, and the guy he's running his mouth 2-3 times his size. He was running his mouth, and I'm going, okay, who's he about to fight? The other guy wasn't in the frame. This dude's running his trap, and then you move over. He's running his trap, and then you move over, and the other guy's huge, and he kept running his mouth. He deserved it all. He deserved it all, man. Bad move by you. Too many beers on the golf course, I think. Way too many beers on the golf course. Jay Carr. Need Johnny to do an updated top 5 most annoying fan bases because I totally agree. Penn State's shooting up the list. That's the number one mover in this. I'm just telling you, Penn State's shooting straight up the list. They are rocketing up my list of people that are like from another planet that I have no patience for. I don't like the head coach. The fans are a nightmare, and I don't like them either. Here's Goolsby's thoughts. Who the F is Josh Pate? How do you really feel, Mike? Andrew Gilmore. Is this the most inexperienced QB room since 2007? I count 3 career passes in the room, all by Minchie, and 2 are in 2023. Oh, Andrew, you're hitting on one of my narratives. Good job. I should have figured that you would do that. You hit right on it. Jay Carr. Fence sitting talking head. His opinions are pointless. Sat across from Billy Napier and thinks he's doing a good job. It is what it is, man. It's surface level stuff. Hit all the different teams in the conferences to make sure you give them attention, to get all the requisite views. And it's a big tent party. You know what I'm saying? It's a big tent. I'm a niche party, all Notre Dame all the time. That's a big tent party. Totally different way to do things. Andrew, one of life's greatest mysteries is how Peyton Pickle have successful business careers. They both have nothing interesting to say. There's a little something to it. Both of them had some stuff going before their big opportunity, so they weren't totally new on the scene. Both of them are well put together and are presentable. Like, that matters. It's not a 20-year-old girl in a halter top. But for our industry, they're both put together and they look good on the camera. They can both speak enough with enough conviction and make it sound interesting or juicy enough to draw you in. That's it. That's basically it. But both those guys have a huge runway, man. A huge runway. And it's really interesting. Indiana's were hilarious. Once, and they're acting like peak Nick Saban. It really bothers me. The whole Indiana thing. I really want them to go back to being nothing. Go back to basketball. Like, I want you to go back to being nothing. I genuinely do. It is just, it's really annoying. And I'm so glad Notre Dame took care of them. And I didn't like the way Signetti, he fake big brother. Him and Franklin both acted like they had way more credibility than they had in the run up to the playoff games against Notre Dame. And it really bothered me. There's something about like a lack of humility here that rubbed me the wrong way. I did not feel that Signetti or Franklin had the credibility they had to talk down to Marcus and carry themselves in the way they did. And the irony here is, you know who didn't do that is Kirby Smart. Kirby didn't do that. He didn't try and do the big time thing. Like, it just rubbed me the wrong way. It came off to me like the difference between a guy who knows he's good and established and doesn't have anything to prove, and then 2 other guys that it almost felt, you know what it felt like, you guys? It almost felt like they had to convince themselves they were good enough to be there and good enough to win. That's how I want to frame it. Those 2 came off to me like they were half trying to convince the viewers, but half trying to convince themselves that they belong and that they're good and everything like that. And then Kirby sat there kind of like, I already know that I don't have to prove this to anybody. It was like, you're doing too much, man. It's almost like the guys on social media or in real life that are like, go out of their way to announce they're the alpha. Like, there's these whole Twitter personalities where they let people know I'm an alpha male. Like, this is what an alpha male does, bro. You know what? No one that's ever been an alpha male needs to announce to the public they're an alpha male. That is the point of being an alpha male. You walk in a room and everybody knows you're the alpha. Like that's no one who's ever been a true alpha announces that they're an alpha. That's not how it works. The whole point of being the alpha is when you walk in a room, everybody knows you're that guy. And you don't have to say nothing or do nothing. Your presence shows that. Like your aura or whatever. I'm thinking of this. You know what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of Charlie Murphy when he's telling the Rick James story, and he says his aura or whatever, when he entered the room, I felt it. And they pan over, give it to me, baby. And he walks in. No one who's ever been an alpha needs to announce to the public they're an alpha. That proves you're not an alpha and you're compensating right away. It's somebody said John's the top G. Yeah, you know me. I'm going to get done with this show, hop into Bugatti and go work out and go to a cigar lounge. And then I'm going to work out. But it's just, it has an orange glow. Yeah. His aura was orange. Yeah, his aura, whatever. I've seen it. He's got the dreads. So it's just funny. West Paul Pat typed in, John, I'm an alpha. Just thought I would announce. Yeah, it's just funny, man. You don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. So I don't like these people. Penn State's quickly rising on my list of intolerable people. I was arguing with one on Twitter the other day. They are playing all these mind games. They're twisting and trying to turn the big game Big Ten record with Franklin and feel better about it. All the recruiting stuff, they just cannot fathom why any kid would pick Notre Dame over Penn State. They just can't handle it. We got lucky in the playoff game. Like the other thing they're bad at. You guys are making me laugh with the. Well, one of the best singers, one of the best looking motherfuckers you ever seen. Hold my drink. It's just they're trying too hard, and you know what they're really bad at is they're going after the kids, and that is always the sound of a low maturity, low IQ adult is when a 17-year-old doesn't pick your school and you're like tweeting at him, you want him to shred an ACL because he picked Notre Dame and not Penn State. I just can't handle it. And these are all people with professional jobs that are probably like your accountant or whatever. And on their lunch break, they're in there telling a high school kid they hope he snaps his ACL. It's just grow up, man. So, and since the Adams and Joey O'Brien double dip that Notre Dame got over them, I am getting fed in my Twitter algorithm more and more Penn State stuff because I was looking at it so much during that time. They must think I'm interested in it. Those people are messed up in the head, man. This Happy Valley thing, there's something going on, man. The water, there's something that these people are not wired right. It's really unstable. It really is. Brian says, no fan base worse than the Michigan one. Every single day I get asked what's going to happen with the Michigan discipline thing that's supposed to come out. I don't have an answer to that. I'll say what I've said all along. I'm predicting no one ends up happy. And by that, I mean, whatever they do, I think the Michigan people are going to think it's too much. And the people that want them nailed and want the title revoked and all those wins off the border with an asterisk, I wouldn't guess you're going to get that either. So I think this is going to end up right in the middle where nobody's happy. The Michigan people are going to think it's too penal, and the people that want them to get nailed aren't going to be satisfied. That's kind of what I think. Yeah, I did say doo-doo, and then I said penal right after that. Oh, Kent, sometimes I miss you. You guys don't realize everybody else thinks Notre Dame is the most annoying, unbearable, irrelevant football team. That doesn't even make any sense. If that's true, then it shows that anybody in that camp isn't paying attention to reality. you have to explain to me how a team that beat the SEC champion and made it to the championship game isn't relevant. When Notre Dame was missing the playoff every year or made it with Kelly and lost 900-0 every time on the big stage, that's closer to like actual irrelevance. But if there's people still saying Notre Dame is irrelevant after the playoff run and knocking off the teams they did in the playoff, I don't know. That can't be the reality anymore. That's your Notre Dame hatred shining. Like, that's your blind Notre Dame hatred showing. But a team that made it all the way to the championship, by definition, can't be irrelevant. So that is you highlighting blind Notre Dame hatred. No matter what it is, I'm going to find a way to crap on this team. That's what that is, because the facts don't support it. Before they did, now it really doesn't. Like, you're showing your blind Notre Dame hatred if you're saying the team that was in the championship game and earned their way there is irrelevant. That's just blind Notre Dame hatred. That's not the reality here, is it? I don't know. Oh, boy. Let's see what we got. We're going to do Dr. John. He's going to get out to the golf course, hopefully. I got a 757-859. Tim, I want your opinion. Do not hang up. Dr. John.
Good morning, John.
How you feeling, buddy?
Wow.
How you feeling? You sound like you got more energy today. You feeling good? How's the therapy going? Physical, not mental. That's none of my business.
We have switched from physical therapy to pain management.
There we go.
They're upping my intake of Sierra Nevada Pale Ale by 50%. So
I like that. They write that in the script. They write that in the script there. It's just a little numbing medication. Yeah. Just a little numbing medication. Nothing to see here.
There you go. There you go. I don't know what all this concern about media day is with West Palm, but so what if a couple players go there at this time? It's, unless the plane goes down. Of course, the plane could go down if the Jag started a trend here. I don't know.
Well, what I'm laughing at is where my mind went is, I'm like, when you bring that up, unfortunately, Notre Dame has some bad history with the plane going down with the really important football figure on it. There's precedent for this, even though that plane was made with 2x4s. There's still, some wood. It's still in my mind. That's happened before here. Wouldn't be first time, unfortunately.
Well, speaking of Jag, I have to agree with your article. I don't think it's going to affect us that much.
It hurts, though, man.
It's going to be missed, but yeah, it does. It always does. But it's like, is the glass half empty or half full?
Yeah, it is. It's. I think, Doc, I don't know if this makes sense or not, but the fact that this was a total freak, non-football, athletic-related thing is adding to the pain to me. Does that make sense? Like, there's something about, like, I would be much more open to it if he broke an arm lifting or working out and some freak weight fell off on his arm or something. The fact that it has nothing to do with football is really, like, increasing my being upset about it. And I don't know if that makes sense or not, but it being not football related at all, it's just like, come on, really? Give me a break.
Well, I watched the show, listened to the show on Monday, and about the signing something because of NIL. You can't do this, you can't do that. And I get torn about it because you still want these kids to live a life, but then I understand the implications of doing stuff that could hurt you, could hurt the team.
Yeah, that's where the Buckner thing makes me laugh. I'm all like, protect these guys, don't go, jet skiing or whatever. And then I'm like, yeah, and at the same time, a guy minding his own business walking down the stairs in the dorm, and you could get hurt that way too. Like, that's the way some of these things go. I don't know.
Well, you could be in your backyard and this actually happened to a friend of mine who was a gymnast at Dartmouth a long time ago. He was fooling around at somebody's trampoline in the backyard, came down the back of his neck. He was almost a quad for life.
Yeah, it's
So,
man, it is a weird line though. You're right, Doc. You can't go through life worried about the worst case scenario happening everywhere you go. But there's also, you got to kind of like think about what you're doing too. It's really weird. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, you talk about narratives. Unfortunately, the narrative that's going through my mind is what the show is going to be like if we lose to Miami. That's been running through my head for about a week. So.
Doc.
Yeah.
It is weird. It is weird in my brain when I'm sitting there with the post-game show queued up, and I have no idea till the last second whether it's going to be full of joy and happiness or total misery. And I got to play both scenarios in my mind of, if this game's going to the wire, if it goes good, here's my angles. And if it goes bad, here's my angles. I got to play both of them out to the full extent in my brain. And it's such a night and day difference. It's wild, man. But either way, you guys need a voice, and we're going to be here, whether we're celebrating or we're venting, we're going to do it together. And that's the best part about this show. We'll all do it together. We're one weird, wacky family.
Are you considering doing a show while the game's on?
I don't know what we're going to do. We're playing around with that. We got a new chat board on Patreon, and at a minimum, we're going to react live to that play by play with all the group there. Yeah, I'm thinking of ways to try and do that. You can't show the game on your screen, but you could kind of react to it and have the score and the time on there. It's tricky with YouTube. Still trying to figure that out.
Yeah. Okay, next question. Are you going to have a show Saturday night?
I'm thinking about it. You're like the third person who's asked. People are itching to get the Saturday night shows back, and it's about time. So I have some family obligations, and I'll let people know whether I can figure that out or not.
Okay, well, I can't take the chance, so I got to tell you now.
Okay.
I'll be 85 on Saturday.
Man, that's a good run, brother.
And I got to tell you, your show has brought so much enjoyment to me and my crew. I remember that first day that I got the moniker doctor because I was worried about your blood pressure.
Yeah.
And then the next time I called you is when I was in Schaumburg and I was on hold for an hour plus. And I told you I was so old, I didn't want to die on hold. And now you take my call almost the first one every Wednesday.
I want to respect the tea time. I want to respect the tea time. So I know, so I want to be able to get you out so you can get either to therapy or get out on the golf course, Doc. And I got to tell you, man, you're the closest thing to Grandpa Kennedy that I have on this earth now. And that is my thing of why we vibe. You are your personality and the way you think of things and the humor and the Notre Dame history. You're the closest thing I got to Grandpa Kennedy, man. And I love that relationship. It makes me think of him to talk to you. I'm not trying to say you're old. I'm just being honest that you're the closest thing I have to that in my life. And I appreciate you for it.
Well,
and your family's awesome too. Getting to know all your kids and everything. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, my daughters are just, they're amazing. They are amazing. So, the other thing I wanted to say, I don't know if you remember this incident. You were doing a Saturday show. I think it was in May. I can't remember exactly what year. I think it was 2 years ago. I don't know if you remember it. But I had put in chat when you left the screen and Pat took over. When you came back, I had a note in chat, and both you and Cotter saw it at the same time and just broke up, and that made my night, I'll tell you. I don't know if you remember that, but
we're on this.
Huh?
What did you say?
I had said you had left told Pat to take over, and I put in chat when you got back and said, John, did you put the seat down?
Yeah. You know what? We like to keep it mature here, all right? This is a place for mature, highbrow humor, Doc.
Anyway, but before I go, I want to wish Nick Dean a happy birthday. So I only got 31 years on him.
Yeah, it's man, 85 is a good run, and you're still getting around, playing your golf, traveling to the playoff games, man. I'm telling you, that's a good deal you got going. Keep it going.
Well, my daughter from my youngest daughter and her crew get in there from Minnesota today, so we're gonna have a week of fun and gonna float down to Yellowstone a little bit, play a little golf on Friday, and party on Saturday. So.
That's awesome, man.
You have a great week, and if you do have a show on Saturday night, I'm coming via phone. Okay.
All right, I'll let you know, and tell all the kids I said hello from the Always Irish family, will you?
I will do that, sir. You take care.
Have a good one. Take it easy, man. I like that, dude. I like that. Kent woke up and chose Notre Dame violence today. He woke up and chose Notre Dame violence. You're not able to do the irrelevant thing when a team made it to the championship game. You're just not like that. I'm just telling you, blind Notre Dame hatred is the only way that you could say a team that made it to the championship game wasn't 12-0 playing a soft schedule. And then it's two teams in the BCS and you're in it. Actually earn their way all the way to the championship is irrelevant. You're trying too hard to lean into the blind Notre Dame hatred thing. There, by definition, there's no scenario where you could say the team that made it to the championship game with a playoff run and winning 13, 14 games in a row is irrelevant. You just can't. You can't. And I know he's saying if you were relevant, you wouldn't lose a wide receiver to Duke or Stanford or whatever. It's just like, who knows why these kids make some of these decisions. Some guys just want to stay close to home or close to grandma. I don't know. You can't do nothing about it. Like, I don't know. But you're really trying too hard. You lose argumentative credibility when you say a team that made it to the championship is irrelevant. Of all the anti-Notre Dame arguments you could choose, that's a bad one. You're trying too hard. Couple super chats, and then we go back to the calls. $5 holler, Nikki Dean. As a birthday present to me, do you have any Bigfoot stories like the aliens or the ghost stories? I don't. I've seen the UFOs. I saw that ghost of that dead girl walking through that field on the golf course. I don't know if I've told the UFO story before, but I don't know if I told the ghost one. It was, I'll get into it. $10 holler WPP. The criticism of Jags is misplaced and indeed moronic. Multiple players were present. Jagassaw was the unlucky one to get hurt. It happens and the fans need to move on. When you do learn that was like a team building event and there's a lot of guys there and everything, it does make you think of this a little differently now that you understand the details. Credit to John Bryce on the scoop on that, the first guy to have it. Team building thing, 10 or 11 guys were there, whatever, and they're shooting and clay shooting or whatever, driving the thing. Maybe it just makes you rethink of like, if your fun thing is like what it's going to be, dangerous or not dangerous. I don't know, man. It's very tricky. Here we go. John, I don't have to try when it's a fact. You've won nothing. You got to commit from the 50th ranked receiver, a practice player at OSU, Syracuse and Duke at better. You're just, this isn't doing what you think it's doing because it's exposing the blind Notre Dame hatred. You can't go with the irrelevant thing for a team that just earned their way to the championship. You can't. Here's the deal with I'm going to go back. Tim, I want to hear from you. 949-312 keeps popping off. Brandon, I want you to call back real quick on the ghost. I'm on the 8th fairway. The sun's going down. I'm playing an extra 9 after league. There's not a lot of people out there. The sun's going down. It's probably 8 o'clock, 8:15 at night. There's a big field right of the fairway. And the That wasn't last year, was it, Kent? That wasn't last year. Washington wasn't in. No, you don't get to do it for, it doesn't, there's not a 10-year. There's not like a huge window of all this. I'm talking about last year. If it was before last year, you could say Notre Dame was irrelevant. But the most recent piece of evidence shows that Notre Dame's relevant. I'm not going back years. Dwight Country Club. Here's what it is. I got a cart. I'm playing alone. There's one or with one other guy. He has his own cart. He's across the crossed fairway on the other side. I look across. I swear I saw this. Nothing but a bean field, right? Not corn, but short beans. And I casually look over while I'm waiting to hit my shot. And I see a girl in like Little House on the Prairie garb. Like, do you get what like vintage Dr. Quinn medicine woman type stuff? That kind of white gown, like the outfit from like Little House in the Prairie is the best thing I could, like Oregon Trail, bro. Like, I don't know, something like that. And I just see this girl walking through the field in an all white women's outfit from that era or something. And she's just walking through the field going nowhere. She's going nowhere. There's nothing out there. And who would be dressed like that in the middle of summer in that heat in a long thing or whatever, walking through? And then she's just gone. And I think I'm losing my entire mind. And then the other guy said he saw her too. And then there ends up being some story about some girl that got murdered or whatever. And they found her body in the creek that runs along the course a long time ago. When the snow and ice melted in the spring, they found her carcass in the creek or something. And she's haunting the golf course. I blame her when I three-putt. I know what I saw, and I have a witness. We got up there, and that guy was like, "Did you see something weird out there too?" I said, "I did, but I wasn't going to bring it up. Think I'm crazy? I don't know." The Bigfoot thing, no. I've never had any Bigfoot experiences, although if you look at the Illinois Bigfoot Research Organization, I can log the coordinates of where a lot of these Bigfoot sightings have been in my area. And there is like a 3-mile radius where those things from the 70s till now, people are seeing things. And it has all the markings of a Bigfoot thing with rivers and waterways and streams that all connect. Those are like their highways. A lot of just green forest and rivers and lakes and nothing. And it would be the perfect environment. And there's a lot of reports about sightings and people hearing things out there. I think for content, I just need to get in a ghillie suit and just go out there and go out there and hunt a Bigfoot, stay there overnight, and see if I hear any wood knocks or looking for any teepees or any of the stuff they do. That would be good content. Me out there in the woods alone looking for Bigfoot. Imagine the possibilities. What could go wrong and what could go right? What could go wrong? Pat said, what did he say? Pat's the one who told me this story. She wasn't murdered. Her car hit black ice off the road into the creek, leaving a Christmas party. That's not ideal. And then he says, it's true. Her and her lover weren't found till spring. I think she's haunting a damn golf course. And whenever I hit a bad shot, I'm going to blame her from now on. I'm going to blame her. Yeah, I've seen the Bigfoot AI. You're almost doing too much with the Bigfoot AI. It's so AI-y that you don't fall for it. Whatever, man. But I'm just telling you, if you look at the Illinois Bigfoot Research Organization and you plot on the map where this is, there's a corridor in the state forest around here, the state park or whatever, and it has all of the markings, man. If it exists, it has all the rivers, lakes, streams that all lead to somewhere else. A lot of wooded area, not a lot of people, not a lot of traffic. It's all right there. I think I'm going to go do it. I'll just record it for entertainment. Imagine what I would do in the woods. Yeah. Angela says it'd be like Michael Scott. I'm going to cut off the bottom of my pants and wrap it around my head. Wasn't he in the woods for like 2 hours and he was like, man, I'm getting really hungry. I haven't eaten in like 2 hours. Oh man, it would be funny. John wouldn't last 5 minutes in the woods. That's why it would be hilarious to record someone like me doing this. That's exactly why. Tim, I want to give you some runway. 949 is usually pretty quick. I'm going to pull him up and then we'll give you runway to do what you need to do, Tim. I have questions for you, brother. 949, what's going on?
So is Bigfoot a Notre Dame lean?
I sure hope so. I could use 3 or 4 of them on that offensive line and a couple of the adults on the defensive line.
Yeah, we need a good end rush on Bigfoot. So I take it we've ruled out saving puppies and rescuing children for jaguars.
Oh, man. I'll tell you, you know what, though? There's at least some honor in going down that way, in a way there isn't falling off a toy. You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be different. Like, I saved a kid out of a burning building. I'll give you leeway on that, you know?
Hey, I mean, it is what it is. We look for the good and bless the rest.
Yeah.
He's a kid. He's having fun. And even if he was having fun, it wasn't part of team building. Yeah. So what? I mean, you got the old, you said it yourself with the kid from Bishops in La Jolla. Why is it Buckner? That was a freak accident. Piano could fall out of the sky.
Yeah, I just think there's a fine line there. There's a fine line between overdoing it and wanting the kids to have fun. The thing is, though, now Notre Dame will think of all of this very differently. Like, once something like this happens, then you start to think about things differently. And I get that you just want to have fun. You're like a 20-year-old kid. You want to hang out with your guys and have fun. It's just, there's a lot on the line. It's just a really unfortunate thing. And you know what's getting lost in all this? God bless the fact that the guy didn't get more hurt and hit his head, right? Like, it sucks for the football. Exactly. It sucks for the football part, but thank God the guy didn't land on his head on a rock or something. Like, it could have been way, way worse. And for as bad as it sucks for right now, it could have been way, way worse. So, like, I guess that's a silver lining in a really bad situation.
Bottom line, I think if the university went to a policy where they said, okay, hey, if you get injured, whatever percentage you're out, you don't get that money. Now, some people say, well, then the kids would pull back. No, I don't think so. I think if they've got agents, their agents know enough that they would get insurance on these guys. The insurance is inexpensive as well. It's similar to a hole-in-one contest. That's about anywhere from $1,500 to $2,500 if somebody gets a hole-in-one for $1 million in a contest.
Yeah.
So it's really inexpensive, and everything can be handled. Universities protected, etc.
Yeah. It's really, really tough. And what I'm struggling with, man, is a lot of people have told me, oh, John, you're overreacting. Everybody's going to lose guys once we get to camp, whatever. It's all going to be. That proves my point, not another point. Yeah, guys get banged up in camp, which is all the more reason you can't afford to lose 3 starters before camp even starts, which is right where Notre Dame's at with 2 offensive linemen and Botello.
Well, as long as we keep stacking the lineup, we're going to be fine. And that's what they did in days of old. We had so much depth. It didn't matter. Next man up. And look at last year. We did the same thing. And we didn't turn out the way we wanted it to, but we turned out pretty darn fine.
Yeah, it's and I actually wrote an article about that. It probably is live by now. I wrote an article like midnight last night about that, bringing up that there is precedent of Notre Dame losing a couple offensive linemen and still succeeding. And the precedent is what happened last year. I mean, you had all sorts of problems last year with that, and you made it work. So, like, there is some evidence of that, but there's no way around it. It really sucks.
Yeah, it's the way of life. Just like dying. Every breath we take, we're getting closer to it.
Ooh, you're starting to sound like a Pink Floyd song now or something, man. You're starting to get me existential here. I like it.
Well, since we're on that roll, let me answer Dr. Tom's call. Since he's turning 85, it's time he knows this, is that the glass is never half empty. The glass is never half full. It's always 100% full. Sometimes it's full of water. Sometimes it's full of air. Sometimes it's full of little of both.
Yeah, that's it.
All I got. Go Irish. God bless you. God bless everybody listening. 53 days till kickoff.
Ooh,
go Irish.
Go Irish. Man, I like that guy. He gets in and he gets out, says what he needs to say. 859, you're coming right up. You're coming right up, Tim. I want to hear what you think. Kent, I get what you're saying, man. It's just like I just think you don't like Notre Dame, and you're going to frame it all you can to make it negative on Notre Dame. I just think I think that's what you're doing. And the proof of that, Kent, is like Notre Dame's got for Notre Dame, the best recruiting class we've had in a very long time, built up for 26. But all Kent's worried about is those wide receivers aren't good enough. You guys still suck. Like, we see what you're doing. You're overdoing the negative, man. You're overdoing it because you just don't like Notre Dame. You don't like them. I get it. I get it. You don't like them, but at least you like me enough to be here every day. Is Kent in the same room as Ronald? Ronald he's been in Always Irish jail. I don't know what to tell you. He has been in Ronald McDonald jail for a while, and he's in the McDonald's jail for stealing extra fries off that fall out of the bottom of the fryer. He's been in jail. So I don't know. I guess, Kent, if it's up to you and you were the emperor of the whole college football world, I guess it's totally up to you what you're going to frame as the framework of how long you got to be good to be relevant. I guess you're the neutral arbiter of determining if you weren't good for 5 years in a row, you're not relevant or whatever. But I struggle to say that a team that made it to the championship isn't relevant. I just think that your blind hatred of a team is showing through, I think. But it's like, yeah, we don't have Ohio State's wide receivers. You got me. Like, fine, I admit that. Like, it's not where I want it to be. I totally admit that. It's Tim, what's going on? I haven't talked to you in a while. What's up, buddy?
How you doing, man? Okay, first of all, I want to wish Dr. John a happy birthday. Many more. I have no doubt you're going to hit 100. You stole my first point of thunder about saying this was a team building event. It was 12 guys were there. It was sponsored by military personnel and law enforcement. So let's get that out there. I really appreciate you bringing that up. That was my first thing. Now, let's move on to Miami, the offensive lineman going down. Right before we played Miami in 88, we had two key offensive linemen go down. They moved people around. We got the job done. And so to sit there and think, and I'm trying to be a good Christian here, but the only reason that clown in Florida, and I'll say I have low IQ, is because he shoots his damn mouth off down there about Notre Dame winning. How about you just win and keep your mouth shut instead of that? To sit there and say Marcus Freeman's not taking this seriously, he shouldn't go to media day. Come on. That could be contractual. That Rocky comparison drove me nuts. I was going to try to be good, but I don't care.
Of course, listen, of course the media thing is in the contract. That's a part of being that coach here, is doing the media thing, getting the attention, bringing the views, looking good on TV. That's a part of building the brand and all this stuff. However, I don't have it in me to get mad at WPP for being totally obsessed with everything Miami. I think he knows he overdoes some of it just because he's trying to overemphasize the point of how important this initial game is for us. And I think that's a part of the bit, Tim, is he knows he's overdoing.
You damn about Miami?
Yeah.
My first slip for year, 58-7. Next question.
But like when he was telling me like 3 months ago that I was focused too much on recruiting and not Miami. It was like 2 months ago, and I'm trying to get but I was trying to get him to understand, like, I could do two things at once. Of course, I'm worried about Miami, but the recruiting was the happening news of the week. You got to cover that too. And he was like, "No, we're too worried about that. It's Miami, Miami, Miami. Catholics versus convicts, baby."
It's his own damn ego.
I figured a guy like you that hates Miami the way you do, genuinely in every fiber of your being, I figured that you would be supportive of WPP's anti-Miami rhetoric.
No, because there's time and place, for God's sakes. You can't have the team peak in freaking August.
Oh, man. Yeah, see, that's the debate. That's the issue is, if you're going to be like that, like you risk, like, emotionally, there's a rhythm to this. There's a rhythm to this of building your team up emotionally and physically and mentally so that they're peaking when you need them to, either in a playoff game or the first game of the year, whatever. Andrew, there is a rhythm to that. And if you overdo it early and blow the load early, that's a risk too. So that is a bigger picture calculation. But I think he was talking about the fans. You want to talk to him? He's on hold now. He wants to talk. You want to do that or not?
WPP?
Yeah, WPP.
Let's go.
All right, let's do it. Here we go, people. This is why you tune into this show. WPP, welcome to the program. Meet Tim.
Who is this Tim guy? Why is he running his mouth?
Now I want to start with this. Both you guys are Notre Damers. So if you're going to Notre Dame degree guys, if you're going to do the whole low IQ thing, I want you to know we're looking at Notre Dame. This is Notre Dame on Notre Dame violence here, fellas.
I don't even understand this guy's point. Maybe he could articulate it without sounding like a buffoon. So please, what is your point, sir?
So, all right, you've led into the conversation. You're just a mean person. I'm a buffoon. I can't articulate. I think I have some good high intelligence. Sir, can I ask you, what was your major?
What difference does it make?
Well, you're the one that concentrates on high IQ, and then we're stupid. You just insulted me. 5 seconds in, you insulted me.
You are stupid. You are stupid. But my major was finance. Let's move on. What difference does it make? And this guy,
you know what?
Why are you calling me out on this show? Where are you getting at? I don't even know who
because it's on the show. You don't like Marcus Freeman, and why don't you look in the mirror why you don't like the man?
I don't, because he tried to run up the score against Stanford. That's why.
Here we go on that again.
Well, you asked the question, moron. What do you mean? You not answer your question?
This is your little account. I've not insulted you once. And you've already insulted me 3 times. You know what you are? You're the fake news. You're the fake news.
Are you drunk?
Are you not?
Are you drunk? You began your call by insulting me, which is why I dialed in. I have better things to do than to talk to you. Believe me, I do. But I have no choice but to call in because of all the stupidity coming out of your mouth. Now, why did you? Let's just do it this way. Don't let my name come out of your mouth. Fair enough.
All right, we'll agree. We'll agree. I'll never mention you again.
Good. Thank you very much.
And what I'll do is I'll tape John's show, sir. And if you're on, I won't listen to it. Here's the other thing, by the way. When you give something up for Lent, you don't tell everybody what you do.
Sure,
you're a typical Pharisee.
What are you talking about? Pharisee? Dude, that's a new one. I have to laugh. I've been called a lot of insults on this show and this chat for being called a Pharisee. Of course you tell people what you give up for Lent.
No, you don't. That's between you and God. You're not supposed to tell people what you do.
Stop with that. Who taught you that? Come on. Where'd you get that? This is silly stuff now. I should give up stupidity.
All right, that's 5 insults. If we want to keep this up, John, do you want me just to hang up?
Is there anything?
No, you go back to your call.
Can we?
I'll hang up.
Could we?
I'll hang up.
I would like to actually debate the Miami part, not all the other stuff, but like the focus on Miami is what I would like to have a debate about, not all the other stuff. I get that that's more juicy,
No,
but
I don't have no wait a minute, John. I point on this. He doesn't think I have a high IQ. 1, 2. He insulted me 3 or 4 times. I never insulted him once.
Are you
So
serious?
you know what?
Are you serious?
No. He accused me of being drunk, which is comical. So no, I'm not going to get into a debate about Miami. He can do what he wants, and I'm going to let it just go at that.
Have a nice day, sir.
You too.
Tim, are you still with me?
Yeah.
Listen, man. I didn't like that you said if this is how it's going to be, I'm not going to watch John's show. I don't want to take. Why do I got to lose a loyal viewer because you don't get along with WPP? Come on, man.
You know I won't do that.
I know, but it's just listen, man. I think there's truth to what he feels about that Miami thing, but I also think he overdoes it as a bit to reinforce to the fan base how important Miami is. Do you get what I mean? Like, I think he knows he overdoes it, but he's trying to emphasize how important Miami is. I get it. I think he's trying to overdo that on purpose to try and reinforce that we need to be worried about Miami. When he was giving me a hard time for covering the recruiting and not Miami a month or 2 ago, it was like, dude, I get what you're saying and I understand it, but I have an obligation to cover the news. And right now the news is the recruiting, not a game 3 months away. I think his bit is to reinforce how important Miami is and how much focus we need to put on it. And I do get that. The rest of it, I think, is just kind of stoking that fire. Does that make sense?
I do, and I'm not going to debate him anymore. So we just both want to beat Miami, and we'll leave it go at that.
Yeah, Tim, in a lot of ways, you guys do have some in common. And I don't know whether either one of you want to admit that. Jack Sullivan, good to see you here, man. We got the Patreon crew over here. We got 3 out of the 4. You guys have a lot of overlap though with the Catholicism and the Notre Dame education. Being at Notre Dame in the old days when we were winning championships, like you guys do actually have a lot of overlap. I wish you guys could find more common ground because I see a lot of overlap in like kind of your guys' Notre Dame life. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
I'm not going to say anything because I said I wouldn't criticize him or say my view. I'll just flat out, he doesn't like me and I don't like him, and we'll just agree to disagree.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's actually very mature for you guys to come to that agreement here. I just, Tim, anything else?
Football questions before you let me go?
Yeah, that's what I'm asking, man. I started out this show talking about these narratives. And I just think the quarterback is one that is going to be the emphasis early in the season. And also, let's just start early in the year. The quarterback's going to be the number one narrative. And then what's Notre Dame's record going to be after 2 games? I think those are the big 2 things that are staring us right in the faces, that quarterback development and what it looks like, and your record after 2 games that's going to determine a lot of how this goes, I think.
You nailed it. But we have to roll the dice eventually because you can't keep bringing a quarterback in from the portal every single year. You have to recruit one. This is the year we have to finally do it. And hopefully, doesn't help that we went down in depth in the offensive line, but we've got a deep enough running back room that we can do it. You know, bring him in slowly, the quarterback. I'm giving comfortable throws.
Yeah. It's man, it's just all of America is going to be watching Notre Dame those first 2 weeks. And there's going to be a lot of narratives, some practical, some perceptual, that are going to be like riding with this team. That early start is everything, man. How you're going to navigate this. It's a big deal. I can't wait to get it going, man. I really can't. And WPP needs to understand we all hate Miami. It's just there's like a flow to this emotional buildup, and we're just quite not there to be able to get to where you're cresting. That's going to come a couple weeks before the game where people are foaming at the mouth to get a piece of Miami. You're just not naturally there yet. And you can't force that. That is a natural collective vibe. About 2 weeks before the game, I start to feel that peaking intensity level, and the collective isn't there yet. But if WPP's already there, God bless him. Go ahead. I'm anti-Miami all day long. He could do that, but like the collective, we're just not there yet. The natural rhythm of this isn't there yet.
You're doing it correct. You've got to produce a show. God, you're doing it right.
I think he knows that. I think he knows that, but he gave me a hard time for doing all this content that wasn't Miami related. And I'm like, bro, I'm running a business here. I can't just talk about Miami every day for 3 months. You know what I mean?
I listen. I listen. God help this culture. And I make you a promise. If we lose to Miami, I will not call in. I will not.
Man. Let's try and not even think of what that night's going to look like for all of us and me. It's going to be dark.
The only positive you take out of it, John, you'll make a lot of cash.
Oh man, but I like happy cash a lot more than misery cash. I'll tell you that right now. This show takes a dark turn, especially night game losses. You know how it is. People drinking a little bit, they dial up old Johnny boy, and you don't know what's going to happen, man.
A little bit. Look what the next day is. It's Labor Day.
Yeah, I know.
Nobody has to work. That'll be a nightmare.
Yeah. So whether we win or lose, it's going to be an exciting night on the Always Irish show, man. It really is. Tim, you got anything else? God bless you, man. I value you and WPP. You're both key contributors to the show. Every time you guys call, it's interesting. And I like you both in unique, different ways. You both add something to the ecosystem.
No, I hope you got enjoyment out of it, John. I hope I contribute to your show. Thanks for saying that. But I wish you all the best. You know, I love you to death. And everybody, God bless. And I'm sorry for my low IQ. Take care. Yeah, if
he's got a low IQ with that Notre Dame degree, man, my IQ is I'm battling it. Look at this. Donnie White with the $50 holler. I'm telling you, Irish, always Irish. Don't you see why people don't find common ground with him? I absolutely do. But I also think he's intelligent enough to know the bit he's doing. I don't take everything WPP. I think he understands some of it he really means. And then there's extra that's a part of the bit to reinforce what he's saying. Like, I get the game he's playing kind. I think he knows that. Donnie White, $50 holler. Here's the thing about Donnie, man. One of the nicest guys in the world, very loyal to the show, great friend personally. And we also have Chicago's very own Tom here too. Both of you guys, I'm going to have something for you to review very, very shortly. Or we're getting to that prime time. Both you know what I'm talking about. You're both going to get messages from me with something to review. And we're going to get some action going here, fellas. But Donnie White, every single post-game show, win or lose, Donnie White donates $50 before we even know the outcome, before the show even starts, $50 holler. Keeps the phone lines going, man. People like that are how this all works, and I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, dude, WPP, I want to meet the guy. I absolutely want to meet the guy. Like, I just do out of human Notre Dame curiosity. I would love to go to Florida and have a beer with that guy, sitting on a patio looking at the water, and he's such a unique thinking individual, and he has a finance degree from Notre Dame. And I got to tell you this, 757-385, you're coming up. I got to tell you this. A guy with the Notre Dame finance degree tells me that he operates with a different part of his brain than I ever could, right? Like, I don't have that, like the finance Notre Dame acumen thing. I don't have that part of my brain that could activate. That's why I find it so interesting to find a guy that loves Notre Dame, but his whole thing is activated by a different part of his brain that I don't have a strength in. That's what I find intriguing. That's what I find intriguing. So I don't know, man. Mark with glasses said a little bit ago, if we lose to Miami, I'm unsubscribing, unfollowing. I'll never be here again. You ain't going anywhere. You're stuck in the family, Mark. You ain't going anywhere, and you know it. If we're miserable, you're going to sit there miserable. We're going to do it together, damn it. I want to like WPP, but he's made some insane arguments. It takes all kinds, you guys. Yeah, everybody in their extended family has a couple outliers that you're always trying to figure out. Let me go back to the calls, but let me throw a couple of these narratives out there. We got going here, and I got kind of steered off track a little bit. Narrative number one, overall, was Notre Dame a one-hit wonder, or does it have staying power in the CFP? That's the number one overarching narrative there was Notre Dame, Kent's asking it, or are you a one-hit wonder with your relevancy? Was that short-lived? Or are you going to be able to pencil Notre Dame yearly or not? That's going to tell you the level this program is at. Are you able to withstand these changes and then be a playoff team again? Or are you going to you need a year to reconfigure? That's number one. One-hit wonder or every year pencil Notre Dame in. Number two, how good is the quarterback? I think it's going to be Carr. How good is he going to look early? And what role, if any, does Minchie play behind him early in the season? Number three narrative, what's Notre Dame's record going to be after 2 games? There's going to be the perceptual narrative on Notre Dame is probably going to be set based off that record after 2 games. The new Ash defense, does the efficiency and efficacy stay about the same? Does it actually get better with the new freedom of these guys and more zone and reacting rather than think it? Or does it get worse? That's the big narrative with the Ash defense. You got a lot of talent. But I want to know, is that defense going to stay about where it is, get better, get worse? How about Jeremiah Love? Is he a true Heisman contender? Does he stay healthy? Does Notre Dame give him the spotlight? And is whatever this reconfigured offensive line going to look like going to be good enough to support him for a true Heisman campaign or not? So that's the next thing is, how does that O-line get put together? How about this narrative? Is this the year Notre Dame's passing game truly looks different? Truly presents defensive coordinators with a threat where they got to worry about it. In the old days, you could crash guys at the line, stop the run, and then on 3rd and long, whatever, dare Notre Dame to throw it or whatever. The way people will defend Notre Dame will have to change if you show you're capable of burning people through the air. That would be a new modern Notre Dame threat, and it would change everything. If the passing game gets better, the run game should get better too. Those things move together. You're going to be able to commit less resources at the line of scrimmage. Everything should open up. Does the pass game look different? And that includes the guy throwing it, the guys catching it, and the guys blocking for it. There's a lot that goes into that. And then this is like number 8 on my list. Notre Dame recruiting is getting some different attention. It's getting some different national attention with what you're doing right here. Is it perfect? No. Are there parts of it that I want, do I want Jeremiah Smith to commit? One of them? Yes. But that recruiting is different. I've never seen Tim in the chat. I don't think he does the chat. I don't know if he has a YouTube account. Never seen him in the chat. That is a big question to me too with this recruiting. Can you maintain it? Can you keep it going at a high level there? It's just different. That blue chip the blue chip ratio, 85, 86% blue chip. You go to the 5 years before Freeman, you're in the high 40s, the high 50s, the high 60s, the high watermark was in the 70s. This is a different operation. I say it every week. The floor and the ceiling are raising. That's how you know you're doing something right. When the floor and the ceiling are being raised at the same time. Better talent on the high end and a better cut of player, even at the low end, you got to be in the Notre Dame program now. Okay. And then how about another narrative? There's always some of this. Elliot Howard, are you BSing me or what? Clemson and Miami to join the Big Ten in 2027. Breaking news. Somebody check that. I'm not disputing your veracity. I just need confirmation of that. And when news breaks on Twitter and I'm doing this, I can't look at it, man. I can't look at it. Another narrative. Who's going to break out for Notre Dame? Who's going to break out for Notre Dame? Who are going to be the guys on offense and defense that are kind of like not brand names yet that are going to rise and end up being key contributors and big stars for Notre Dame. So right there, I think I went over 9 or 10 of these big picture and small picture narratives that are all going to tie together the narrative of what Notre Dame football is going to be perceived to be this year. And this is high pressure stuff. This is high pressure stuff, you guys. Like there's no wiggle room here. Some of these things are going to be successes or failures, black or white. It's really interesting. 757, what's going on?
Hey, good morning, John. Hey, I think stepping back a little bit, from a narrative perspective, I would say the biggest narrative for Notre Dame this season is going to be, can we have a true star emerge? And I think ideally that would be Carr or Minshew, whoever the quarterback is, because I just think back to the when NIL first became a thing, and I think it was DJ Uiagalelei, the Clemson quarterback at the time, who was on all the Dr. Pepper commercials. And, they're definitely, position-wise, there's no better nationally marketable college football player than a successful, charismatic Notre Dame quarterback. And, that would be such a huge win if we could showcase that we can recruit somebody, that they can do very well, that they can leverage the Notre Dame brand nationally. If you see during Carr or Minshew on, a Coke Zero commercial all over the place, that would be, I think, we're very blessed to have Marcus Freeman, and we're very blessed to have some talented recruiters right now. But, at some point, his charisma, his, ability to work nonstop, et cetera, that can only go so far. And I think the marginal return on a successful, really a quarterback would just be so astronomically good for the program, because that would just rise, that would help improve all other facets of the offense. So that'd be my number one.
Yeah, that's a good one. And no one knows what that's going to look like at all. That is it's like, okay, Riley Leonard coming in here, you have all the body of work. It wasn't in Notre Dame, but you have an idea of what you're going to expect from his game when the bullets are flying live. You just hear no one has any idea how this is going to go early in the year in those first 2 key games. No one has any idea. And if they tell you they do, they're lying. No one has any idea. It could go great, and you could go, this kid is mature beyond his years and beyond his snap count. Or you could say, man, we have a long way to go. Reality's hitting with the young first-time quarterback. Or it could be right in the middle, where there's a lot to like, some things to clean up, and you're right in the middle. I have no idea, but you ain't playing Miami, Ohio. You're playing the Canes, baby.
Yep. Yeah, yes. Certainly, your marketability, you can't be a bum and do well. Obviously that diminishes your market value if you stink. But I guess I'm looking at the 20, so we have our 26 quarterback, but the 27 quarterback, right? That person probably needs to be upper 4 and or 5-star. And that's kind of the market I think Notre Dame needs to be in. Every 2, I think if you're doing it right, every other year, you really go for the fences on your quarterback recruit, right? So when you're trying to stagger up, okay, who's going to be the next starter, kind of pipeline.
You know what? Hey, Mike's been saying that. Mike has been saying with the questions, right, about the quarterback in the 26 class of is that what is good enough or whatever? Did we get a commit too early? What's the high end there for that kid? Goolsby's been saying, you got to understand, not every guy is recruited to come in here and be the starter and the savior. And you got to understand that not every guy is recruited to be that. And I just think that's interesting, because I think it's natural for a fan to think every single guy you want to be the starter and you can rely on, you know what I mean? That kind of stuff.
Yeah. Just realistically, right? It's, your draft class each year for the NFL, you're not going to, probably good teams, right? You're not going to recruit the same position or you draft the same position over and over again, right? So you got to, I think Notre Dame has to live in the realm, which I think Coach Freeman is doing a very good job setting us up for, is that we want to have, prolonged depth on the roster. And, we got to get people to stay 3+ years. We're going to beat Ohio State and Georgia or whoever. We might not beat them on signing day, but we'll beat them on retention and development over the longer term, so that we consistently have, I think we should really feel blessed and lucky that last year with a very young team, we went as far as we went. Because I think the plan going forward is we have guys who've been on the roster for a long time, who have developed, And, like you're saying, when the floor has been raised, and, we'll reap the rewards of that over a longer period of time, as opposed to folks who are trying to plug and play every year and fight the transfer portal. And I think it's so critically important that in my mind, the quarterback is just, more durable. Jeremiah Love, if he was the Heisman, that is obviously that's great and it's astounding. And, I don't know if you follow him on social media or whatever, but, he's hyping up the college football game, and, he's on a lot of different stuff, which is beautiful and really good for, hopefully getting new skill guys to come. But, there's even if he does win the Heisman, we're not having trouble getting talented running backs to come to Notre Dame. We have, if you think back, it's like Quinn or Clausen, and even like the years that we had, Kaiser, Zaire, who were very, well-regarded prospects, the supporting cast around them wasn't enough to get them really to be superstars. If we get a superstar quarterback, I think that's so big for the program, and it would just play so much dividends going forward. Because that solves or helps make the wide receiver recruitment problems go away. Like if they know 5-star so-and-so quarterback's coming in 27, then and we do well, that's how we get good wide receivers in that class.
Yeah, it is. And that's the thing with the the wide receiver recruiting and all this. Man, if you could just show evidence that Notre Dame's offense in the pass game is advancing and getting more involved and more exciting and involving them guys more, and you got a guy that can throw it to them with some skill, I just think that makes it a much less climb to get where you want to end up in that wide receiver room. But you need to show it a little bit. And now you have a quarterback who's comfortable throwing the pill. Let's see.
Yep. Last thing, John. So I do think, just again, from a narrative perspective, I'm higher on the Ash defense being about as good as we have been for the past few years is critically important. Because I think we're all kind of assuming, and I don't think we're unjustified in doing so, but that the defense isn't going to fall off. I think that's very, very important, right? Because like you look at the dynasty type programs or the guys who did very well, there's going to be a rotating door a lot of times for our coordinators, and I think that should be the assumption. Like we were pretty blessed to get Golden and Denbrock, but eventually they will leave, and I think kind of the standard operating procedure is you're going to get Marcus Freeman is going to have to be very good at hiring and then quickly transitioning to and from very talented coordinators. And so we need to show that we can shift from a guy who was there for years and did very well to a new guy and maintain a similar level of performance. Because, like all of our season projections assume the defense is not going to fall off. And so, if that does, that would just be a disaster.
Yeah,
so,
because you can't. I'm with you. Here's one of my big fears. One of my big fears on the worst case of what could happen would be the offense takes steps forward where you still have a good run game. You're starting to throw it around a little bit and be a threat. And the offense looks more explosive and more dangerous, more like quick strike type of an offense than we've had. So my fear would be that takes a step forward, but the defense regresses to where it's not as good as we're used to. And then overall, you end up in about the same spot, but the calculation to get there is different. The offense gets better, the defense gets worse. You can't, I can't have that. That defense has been the backbone of the program for so long. It's just got to be good enough again. And I'm not negative on Ash, but I'm not counting it that it's going to be good either. I am wait and see. I am neutrally wait and see against Miami and A&M, and I'm going to give my answer. I'm not saying it's going to be good. I'm not saying it's going to be bad. I am being responsible and waiting to see because I just don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'll leave you with that, John. Appreciate the show. Appreciate taking my call. And Irish going to crush Miami, and it's going to be beautiful.
Oh, I like it. Have a good day, buddy. How much time you got, buddy? He walked in, his aura, whatever. I've seen it. He walks in with them dreads. It's a celebration. Hold my drink. The milk's gone bad. 773. What's going on? Chicago's very own.
Good morning, sir. What a great show this morning. The comments have been making me laugh all morning. That's fantastic. Everybody needs a laugh. Listen, the Miami thing, right? So I'm not going to comment on what Pat and West Palm Pat and Tim were, John, about. I'm going to stay above the fray. The one thing that we got to miss here, and this has happened since Miami has won the last time they won the national championship is 24 years ago in 2001 when they beat Nebraska in the Orange Bowl, I think it was. And ever since then, ESPN specifically, and all the college football pundits, ABC, ESPN, CBS, whoever covers college football for the mass media, every year Miami's coming back. Is this the year? Miami's got talent. Oh, wait, athletes, new coaches. And they haven't. There's something wrong since Erickson left down there. I mean, I know they won with they won a national championship in 2001 under the other coach, but he did not have a dynasty going. That place is all over the map. We should not. It is a marquee game, no question about it. But I think Notre Dame's I think they're gonna curb stomp them down there. I really do. And one of the things that leads me to believe this is we don't know, and they don't know, which quarterback's going to show up for Notre Dame. And I'll tell you, by the third quarter of that game, our quarterback should be cooking. There hasn't been, in my memory, I can't remember going into a football season where we have had a solid armed quarterback that I could remember. And I'm going all the way back to Joe Theismann, because that's what I can remember. Joe Theismann, you got to remember, all the Notre Dame teams over the years were running teams, right? Well, this has an opportunity to be a really good passing team. And if they mix it, if Denbrock lets CJ Carr or Kenny Minchie cook, I think we can see some really big numbers. And what's telling me that is nobody expects it. We haven't had a quarterback start fast out of the gate in my memory. I mean, when Rick Meyer started, there was a lot of hype around his arm in 1990 going into that season. And they opened up against Michigan at home, and they beat Michigan 28-24. And it had to be a comeback. They were losing 24-14 early in the fourth quarter. Meyer threw for 165 yards that day. He staged a winning comeback, a winning touchdown drive. But, we really have never had the type of NFL arm talent since Montana and Joe Theismann.
Tom, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
How do you think Notre Dame fans should think in their mind about Carr? I'm presuming Carr's going to be the starter. What do you think is the appropriate way for Notre Dame fans to enter that Miami game thinking about Carr? Like, is it totally wait and see? Where do you set the bar? Like,
That's a great question.
Tom, I am struggling to figure out where my expectation level should be for him in this environment in his first start. You don't want to underdo it, and you don't want to oversell it either. What is the appropriate? Is it just don't make any catastrophic mistakes in week one, or can you expect more than that? Like, I just don't. I'm struggling to find that level that I should start out with this project. How are you going through that mentally, emotionally, whatever? How are you thinking about this?
I think you come out with guns blazing, right? The kid's going to make some mistakes, but you have a defense that could bail him out on some. Let's say he throws a few interceptions, right, early on in the season. I still think you got to let this kid cook. He's got to find his footing, and let him find his footing against Miami. I'm telling you, the game plan for Miami and the game plan for Texas A&M is going to be two different game plans. Now, here's what I would do. My expectations are to test Miami's secondary, because they had to go out to the transfer portal and bring in so-called talent for because it was their Achilles heel last year. So we don't know what they have either. So you test them. Let Greathouse cook. And you asked earlier, who do you think is going to be a breakout? I think if Eli Reardon stays healthy, oh man, what a big target. I mean, he's a quarterback's best friend, 6'7", and he's got soft hands. Have him keep running 13-yard outs. You know, these little 13-yard dig routes, first downs, baby. And that's going to open up the running game, and it's going to open up the downfield passing game. We know Greathouse can cook. Now we have, and they don't know what we have as far as Cam Williams or Micah Gilbert. Hopefully those guys don't have, dropitis. Hopefully they can catch the ball this year. But there's definitely enough speed. And then this Malachi Fields, the transfer from Virginia. I say you go after Miami. Go for the throat and do it through the air and put them away in the second half with the running game. That's how you beat that team.
I like it.
And beat them better.
I like it. And then you're also building up the confidence in your young quarterback and the offense. And like that would build you a lot of momentum going into the off week before you prepare for A&M. That is an idealistic situation, that the way you're building it up. I don't want to put too much on the kid, but I also don't want to undersell it. You're going to be the starter at Notre Dame. There's an expectation of performance here, like regardless of what age what class you're in or your experience. So like, I just want to find the right level to start this project at, and I don't want to oversell the kid, and I don't want to undersell him either.
Yeah, and the other thing is too, the only other thing it's before my time, was Terry Hanratty and Jim Seymour in the 66 national championship game. They opened up against Bob Greasy and Purdue, and they were favored. And Notre Dame was losing most of that game. But you think back about what Parsegian let Hanratty. They call them the baby bombers because that was their first year of eligibility as sophomores. Was Terry Hanratty and Jim Seymour. He threw for 276 yards and 4 touchdowns that day. That was monumental passing yards in 1966. Christ, we'd settle for that now.
Yeah,
from a Notre Dame quarterback.
Yeah, man, there's a lot riding on this.
I think
this is going to be heavy stuff, man.
There's a lot riding. And I think we should have high expectations. Like I saw Jack Sullivan mention it in the chat, whether it's Carr or Minchie, they're going to make their mistakes, and that's granted. Sure they are, but it's about limiting the mistakes. And we all understand that. We all know what needs to be done. But when you have that kind of arm talent back there, and see, Minchie adds that other element with his legs. You couple that with the running backs. My goodness, I wouldn't want to play Notre Dame this year.
Yeah.
And I don't care if I'm Ohio State or Alabama or Texas or Oregon or whomever. I don't want to play Notre Dame this year. They've got weapons all over the field.
Yeah.
And it's the first time I can say that with confidence.
Oh man.
So
this is building a camp ramp for sure, man. And we're going to get some answers to all these questions very soon before we know it. Tom, I love you, buddy. Take care out there running the streets of Chicago. Okay.
Amen. We'll see you later, guys. God bless. Go Irish.
Have a good one. Oh boy. You thought the calls were interesting. Let's try this one. 402 Nebraska. What's going on?
Hey, John. How are you, buddy?
Mike, I love the energy here, man. You've been here most of the morning. People are getting worked up. It's growing. I love it.
Dude, we've been talking about it for a couple weeks, whether it's the recruiting wins, it's coming off the back of the championship appearance. Like, I think the fan engagement it's so real. It's so palpable. And what a show today. Like, what a show.
You never know what you're going to get, man.
No, it's great. It's great. So there's a couple things. I'll let you get back to the callers. There's a couple things I just wanted to touch on, really just building off of Tom Frawley. And the whole Miami thing, Notre Dame being irrelevant, yada, yada, yada. So just a couple thoughts. Like Miami's always, and this even ties into sports betting, John, because I bet college football based off of culture, right? In Miami, their culture is the U, right? And at the same time, Notre Dame's irrelevant, right? It's like Miami's clinging to something that happened 25 years ago. Do you understand?
Yep.
So it's like they're still caught in the shadow of being the U, and all of these current teams and future teams have to somehow, I guess, stay a part of that. They can't create their own identity as a team. They're always going to have to look back to the Ed Reeds and the Warren Sapps, et cetera, right? I think that's problematic for a big-time football program,
Yep. And you can't retroactively – the times change to where I don't even know if kids are built that way, where you could retroactively do the whole you thing the way you could in like the late 80s or whatever. Like, I don't even know if you can replicate that vibe again, but they've been trying for 30 years.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's like there's a latent pressure to change your team's identity to fall in line with whatever the hell the U is supposed to be all about. So that's just one random thought. And again, if you want to say Notre Dame's irrelevant, fine, sure, right? Take your shots. But again, Miami's clinging to an identity from 25, 30 years ago. You were the cool kid in high school, right? It's like life comes at you fast. So another thing, what is this offense going to look like, right? How do you gauge how long of a leash do you give these young quarterbacks going into this game? So I think it's important for people to remember the first couple series, it's going to – Coach Denbrock's going to be working off of a script, right? So I fully believe Denbrock is chomping at the bit to uncork this thing. I think he was frustrated all last year with Riley's, limitations in the passing game. He's alluded to this. I mean, he's had some strong words up at press conferences in terms of how frustrated he was with the offense last year. So I really think Denbach's chomping at the bit to air the thing out. The game flow is going to matter. I do think something we're going to see from our offense this year is play action. You saw in the spring game, there was a snap or two where Minchie was under center, which is fascinating to me because everything with modern college football, everything's out of the gun. So and you saw it on the film last year, John. Anybody that was watching the All-22 defenses absolutely were keying on Jeremiah Love last year. And then you factor in a little bit of play action, a little bit of under center quarterback. That only opens up those deep shots that we're all dying to see. So it's just one of those things I can envision it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, man, it is. So much of this has to do with who those first two opponents are as well. Like, that is such a big part of this narrative, like how the quarterback's going to develop or whatever, but it's all in the framework of playing Miami, not Miami, Ohio, early in the year. Like, you're going to find some real facts here about the realities of where all this is at. And those you're going to get... Mike, I just don't know what to expect of the young quarterback against Miami. I don't want to oversell it, and I don't want to underdo it. I'm struggling to find the right line in my mind of what I'm looking for. Is it just no catastrophes, or do you expect more than that? I don't know what's fair. Where's a fair bar to start here?
This is what I'm trying to say, brother. So it's like you're gonna be working when you're breaking these kids in, that you're gonna be working off of a script. So it's like Carr knows, or Kenny's going to know, I'm supposed to go here with the ball, right? It's going to be like almost predetermined based off of that script. And to me, it comes down to like how comfortable is the quarterback in terms of pressure. You can't talk about, especially with the Jagasaw news, I don't think it's fair to talk about quarterback play, quarterback expectations without factoring in the comfort level that they may or may not have based off of this offensive line. You factor in that crazy environment, and then, yet another sort of mash unit offensive line. that's where my eyes are going to be trained, is how much time, what is the level of comfort that these young quarterbacks are afforded by our latest, iteration of the offensive line.
Yeah. And then is it a calculation for Gino and Denbrock to, when they're cooking up the game plan or those set plays, the first few drives or whatever it is, is it going to be what do we think this O-line could protect? Where do we think this quarterback is at when they draw up how aggressive or not they want to be? What kind of chances they may want to take early or not? I'm super interested to see what Denbrock has in mind for that. Like, how aggressive is he going to be? Or is he going to try and protect Carr a little bit, or Minchie? Or are you going to let it rip a little bit and try and get some confidence early? Like, I'm super intrigued to see where they're envisioning this early in the year.
Knowing Denbrock personally, man, John, I can almost assure you he's going to tell those quarterbacks to frickin' rip it.
Yeah, that's in his DNA. Yep, that's his style.
It's in his DNA, and he's been the highest paid offensive coordinator. He was kind of a little bit handcuffed last year with Riley Leonard, still learning the offense, missing spring, not being a great thrower, natural thrower of the football. Again, chomping at the bit. I think he's going to encourage these kids to go out and rip it. I really do. And then the other thing is, too, like young quarterbacks, like if you're talking about making silly interceptions, those tend to be like, think about Tyler Buckner. They were like flat routes where the cornerback jumped it, stuff like that. If we're talking about pushing the ball downfield, unless he's thrown into double, triple coverage, it's one of those 50-50 type equations. So I don't think airing the ball out necessarily lends itself to turnovers and or interceptions. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see more interceptions like in the short game than versus, hey, KK Smith, you're running a 9 route, just go,
Yeah, it is. Man, this is going to be the build up for this is going to be great, Mike. There's so many questions. I can't wait to just get some evidence to see where we're starting from. You know what I mean? Just give me, I'm just looking for that first kind of data set to understand kind of where I think we're working from here with this offense. And it's just, man, there's a lot of interesting things going on here in this program. It is, and the whole world is going to be watching you. You were the standalone game on a Sunday against Miami to start all this. Everyone's going to be watching. This is big time. This is Notre Dame football. This is what it's all about. The biggest stage available.
And I'll leave you with this. And that's really why I was kind of motivated to call in. John, you've been doing this 7, 8, 9 years. I've been doing this 5, 6, 7 years, like really in the weeds with the coverage, with the content. Hands down, this offseason, like where we at this moment in time in Notre Dame world, this is the most energy and juice I've ever felt.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a fun wave to ride the next, month and a half.
Yeah, it's going to be really great. Mike, thanks for being a part of the show this morning. Patreon.com/alwaysirish. We got 3 out of the 4 here, Mike. Me and you, Jack's in the chat. We got to get old Coach Jared in the mix, and we'll be 4 for 4, man. Link in the description, folks. We got a lot of exciting stuff planned. Mike, thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you dropping in.
Thanks, John. Have fun.
Well, I'll talk to you. Have a good one. Oh, man, it's great when we get I saw that 402, and I knew it had to be him. We don't get too many Nebraska calls, people. We don't get too many Nebraska calls. All right, you guys, that's going to be a good place to end the show there. I got to get going. I got some stuff to do. There's a couple more calls I'm not going to be able to get to, but they are folks who get in regularly, so I don't feel absolutely awful about it. Sorry about that. Got some things to do. I just love the energy, man. People care. And I just love how much people care about all this stuff. I genuinely do. Really kind of sizzling, man. This show is sizzling. It's getting, now look at this. Now we got Tim Hyde in here. What is it? We're just checking all the boxes, baby. Now we got Tim Hyde's beautiful hairline in here. It's who's going to get that Just for Men deal. And there's 2 guys up for the job, and it's Tim Hyde and it's Sam Hartman. And they got to compare hairlines and see. I don't know who's going to win it. Oh, man. I love the energy. I love the debate. I love the trolling. I love our own people kind of going at it. But at the end of the day, we're all pulling from the same end of the Notre Dame rope, man. We're all pulling from the same end of the Notre Dame rope. I love the energy, you guys. I love the energy. If it's like this now, wait till 3 more weeks what it's going to be like. Thanks for the calls. Thanks for the donations. Thanks for the chats. I'm telling you, I love the vibes, man. Go Irish. Have a good day. Be good, everybody.